You want to know what's not effective is putting your money in SVB. That's not effective at all. Right?
Hey, that's wild. Okay, so
yeah, it's getting crazy.
So there's a couple, we got to talk about this because you told me a statistic that I was not aware of, that SVB, so Silicon Valley Bank, this is like a 40-year-old institution here in the Bay Area. They fund a lot of startups, and they're like instrumental, in this area.
Yeah.
They, what did you say? Over 90% of their
So
depositors?
most banks, they're the inverse of most banks. So most banks, the average depositor, so like
Wells Fargo, Bank of America.
Yeah, 75 to 80% of the people that have their money in those banks are already fully insured by FDIC anyways, because most people don't have over $250,000 in their bank account. Yeah. And the people that do, it's less than 10%.
So majority of the people are everyday regular people.
Yeah, everyday regular people that are in a Bank of America, Wells Fargo would fall in that category. Doesn't mean there's a small percentage of people that are millionaires that have lots of money in there, but most people have only 250 or less, and so they're fully insured and they're safe. 90% of the people are like that in these normal banks. At this bank, it's the inverse. So and it's actually what I heard was north of 90% of the people in there are multimillionaires that have more than 250,000. So more than 90% of those are not insured because of that, which is crazy.
And then you think about the quickness which the federal government went in there.
Yeah, so why bring that up?
Everybody.
Well, we bring that up because there's this, what happens in a situation like this? Do we bail them out? Do we not bail them out? Okay, I think the consensus is to protect the depositors, because if you didn't, the frenzy this could potentially cause to everybody, including myself. I mean, Doug and I were in the middle of moving money to another bank account. It scared us enough to freaking freeze and stop everything like that, because who knows? It's not a major Bank of America, Wells Fargo bank that we were moving into. We were going to get a better interest rate. Yeah. So we completely halted that because of this situation. So imagine if this bank completely collapsed and then another one collapses, and then all of a sudden everybody starts pulling their money, and then we have a massive crisis on our hands.
Yeah. So this is one of those situations where I can totally see both sides. So there's that side. Here's the other side. The other side is our policies of bailing out banks has created incentives. Yes, has created incentives and a culture around risky lending and policies within these banks that causes these problems, that causes these balance sheets, that puts them in situations where they're screwed. So it's like imagine this: you have $10,000, you're going to go to Vegas. And if you lose it all, they'll give you back that $10,000. Well, you're going to gamble every single dollar. Mm-hmm. And so what's happened in the banking and the financial industry is that they don't have risk. They've already been shown that if they screw up, that the taxpayers are going to come in and bail them out. And so there's no incentive for them to be very careful, to weigh the risks. The incentive is actually the opposite. And when it comes to insuring these people, I believe there could be, and here's the argument that I'm going with. I believe there could be a market-based insurance where if there wasn't government guarantee for, let's say, if the FDIC didn't exist, I believe there would be a market-based insurance where you would go to a bank, you deposit your money, and then they would say, would you like to pay for insurance if something happens? And then it's up to you. Instead, we have government-backed, which is taxpayer-backed, and so this creates this system where we're going to keep seeing this happen. We're going to continue to see, because after 2008, they passed all these regulations. This will never happen again. Well, shit, it looks like it's starting to happen again. What's going on? Well,
to be fair to that point, we're actually not bailing the investors and the bank out. We're bailing the depositor out.
Yeah,
which
but you
is
said that statistic.
I know.
Which makes it sound like it's the same.
Same people.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all investors.
These are donors. These are huge political donors.
Yeah. They're definitely in there, right? But there's got to be some people that are. I mean, there's a percentage for sure that are your smaller startup.
Because look what happened in 2008. We had this huge financial collapse, and we had a lot of it had to do with home loans. I remember getting a home loan right around that time. This is what it was like. You'd go to the bank, and the bank would say, "State your income."
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay. Now, why were banks doing this? If they held the keys, if they held the risk, no way in hell they would do that. They would say, prove to us you can pay this back. Here's your rate. Sorry, you don't qualify. But we had all these government policies come in and said, no, you got to guarantee loans, and home ownership is a right in America. And it's discriminatory if you don't give these people a loan over here, regardless of whatever. And by the way, so here's your policies. Oh, and by the way, if you lose, don't worry, we'll come in and we'll give you that money. And so you had this crazy system of loans where you had all these people that should not have had loans.
By the way, I told you this, and this is yet to come. This is coming. Okay, we did the same thing in the last 3 to 5 years in the car market.
Yeah. Dude.
Hence why we saw this rapid, it's like head scratching. How did we get to the average car payment in the United States at $700? Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Because you gave it to you gave loans to people that shouldn't even have it in the first place. And so they have this attitude of like,
forgive it.
Fuck it, why not?
I'll name another industry where this is very clear. Look at student loans. Student loans, government comes in and says, everybody deserves higher education. We got to make money easier to give to people because they need to go. And what's happened is the cost of higher education has exploded because of these guarantees. Instead, if we allowed it to be a market response, then you would have colleges that are like, hey, look, we're going to cater to these people over here because they don't have the money, but the demand is still there. And these expensive colleges, a lot of them wouldn't exist because money wouldn't be so easy. So all we've done is inflated and bloated the cost. You have colleges. I know I've toured some of these colleges. I got a kid going to college. Yeah. I walk around these campuses. It's a freaking resort. Why do they have a resort here? Well, because they're all fighting for a lot of money, a lot of easy money. You got students getting $100,000 loans to go to school, have no business paying it back, getting art history degrees or whatever. It doesn't make any sense.
Did you guys see how the right is sort of spinning this now in terms of being SVP? A wedge issue because it's there was the person in charge of the financial manager of the SVB was put on her bio she was queer and
super woke,
which literally has nothing to do with the crisis that's going on.
This is the political spin now of the right. Oh, they went woke. That's why they went broke.
Shut up. Is that really the?
Yes.
So now the Fox talking points right now?
Is a woke issue.
No, it's not, dude.
Hilarious.
I get it when
politics just can't help themselves.
Their banking was not that.